All right, let's go. Pressure profile kit, PPK. Anyway, I just have it on one of my machines. Both of these machines have stainless steel heating elements that have been replaced. I have built both of these two switches from scratch, but let's go ahead and this PPK I got, you can see by the back it was rubbing a lot, so I spun it around. The back side used to be in front, so they work okay. We'll go ahead and run this one. It was binding up, but by spinning it, it works a little smoother. And that's really the only trouble I've ever had with it. Do they work? Anyhow, we'll see how they work here. I'm not 100%, but they look really good. And the idea is really great. And all these people started making them, and Pavoni put them on everybody. So let's go ahead and run these two and see what happens. Last time I ran it, I went to steam milk, and it had been sitting for a little while in the back room, but I have already cleaned this out. I realized the little holes were clogged, so I'm just going to give it an extra little cleaning. This tool came with something else, but it fits these holes too. It came a little set of 2 or 3 of them. I forget where it came from now, but that's it. And the holes are going to be open. So if you have that trouble, I even one time used my little tool there, but that's not a good idea. You can bend it up. So let's go. We have the special basket, not the Electra. It's the next size down I like to use, and you can see I'm using the portafilter with the rounded bottom. So you have to use a little smaller. If we use the Electra basket, that coffee is going to run up the handle. If you have that trouble, that's why. I really enjoy the straight edge ones better, but this one's good, and we're going to run it up here. So let's just see how this is going to work out. I use a little smaller mug than I usually, or cup than I usually do for these singles. I would call this a single shotter to me. There we go. We'll bring it on up to pressure. Looks pretty neat. I have the 2 gauges just because I like the looks of it. And there are 2 different types of gauges, so they point a little differently. It's just for fun. And let's go ahead and steam some milk. I've always found that this size of milk jug works really good for steaming with the Pavoni. I have a bigger one that sometimes if we have someone over that I'll use to make more milk, but this makes enough for 2 in the bigger cups. Perfect latte. So this is the size I usually use, and it works really good. Plus this one has that little tab. See, the thermometer just goes in. It doesn't wiggle around like those little clips, but that's it. If you have a smaller milk jug or a bigger one, the smaller ones might be harder to steam. Maybe that's how people have trouble. But God, I've never had any trouble with the 3-hole. It just seems to steam right up. I do like a thermometer because I like it to get about 130-ish. Not over the little red 140 mark, but there we go. Steams up beautifully, right up to temperature, and then that's going to stay lovely while we go ahead and bring this back up to pressure. Then we'll go ahead and see what we get here. There's been all that 9-bar talk and everything, so people went a little crazy, but this type of lever machine isn't meant to be at 9 bars. That 9 bar is for commercial machines in Italy are supposed to operate at 9 bars. But for a machine like this, it's kind of confusing. People want that 9-bar sticks in their head, but it's way too much. The machine's bending. Nothing really goes smoothly. And we'll see what I usually get with this machine and the bars I get here. And we're going to do both of them just to see if there's any difference. And I really go by feel. If you're using this machine a lot, you know what your pull is. I mean, you do, as long as you don't think about it too much. It'll go. So there we go. Up we go. I found with the PPK it takes a little longer for the whole siphon process to go, maybe because of that tube. And I know they have that air buster thing. You're kind of I don't know how many things you keep on going, but this one works all right. Let's go ahead and run it. We'll wait for the drip. And this is the real time on the dripping. I'm not going to do a cut here. With the heat up and all that, we may do a cut. But there it went. So we're starting to get some drips. And let's just go ahead and see what we get here. There we go. Everything's tight. And you get a little sponginess you know, your lever will come down a bit with these, a little more than when you don't have one on, but no worries. Works good. We're going to get it to all coincide. I do all these pulls live, so this isn't like taking 10 trying to get the best look or whatever. So, and I always get, you can look right there, 5 or 6 bars is perfect for the La Pavoni. Much more, and it's kind of your brew head's bending out and everything, and it's just too much force for him, I believe. But let's look what we get here. Yeah. See what you get? That's it. Not too much muss or fuss, and you get a lovely little espresso there. I'll probably make this into a little latte, and you know the size goes down pretty nice. So let's go ahead and do the red machine now. We're going to use the same portafilter and a brand new little basket, and that one I tamped them both at the same time, so they're generally close to the same. Let's go ahead and we'll heat this one up. Okay, there she starts. Both switch on up to 2, as we all know, and that's going to bring her on. I'm not going to steam milk this time. I steamed enough last time with the other one. I just made a couple minutes ago. I already shot that one down. And let's go ahead and we'll bring this one up to pressure. She's just about there. You can see the little dial going up. One thing with some of these stainless steel elements, your little steam release doesn't work as smooth as with the brass element. It's not a big deal, but you might notice it kind of is a little different than when you have a brass element going. But this one goes up to steam. Pop. I really like this red machine. It does have the stainless steel element, draws a little more power. I think this one is 1,200, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I do know this red machine draws more power than the other one. So I think its heating element's a little bit higher than the brass ones I usually use. There we go. We have her up. We'll let her settle down a minute. There she goes. All right, nice smooth operation. A little smoother than the PPK when you raise the lever. It's a little smoother without it. So let's go ahead and go. We had a drip. Each machine works a little different, and we'll get a nice flow here. You know, unrehearsed. So this is just how it comes out. And let's go ahead and see what this one looks like, if we're really going to have a difference. And I can feel it's about the same, about 5 or 6 if you really need to know. But you know the feeling. I think that's the way these machines are so much fun, is you kind of know you're operating something instead of pushing a button. But there we go. Let's look at this one. Yeah, same thing right off. Great espresso. So that's it, the PPK. 5 or 6 if you want one. If not, it's not going to make any difference. You're going to have still great espresso. Excellent.